Welcome back, everybody, to Veterans Nation. I'm Gloria O'Brien, and I'm here with my co-host, Rick Seaman, writer and producer of the show also. And, of course, the illustrious Brian Burkhart is back today. Yes.
Right.
And we've got some good stuff today. Today we're going to cover a radio interview from Shad Meshad.
Right. It's a live broadcast we're going to play for you. He's up there on a radio station in Seattle, and Shad nails it.
He usually does.
He nails it. It's good. It's worth hearing. Speaking of Shad, as all of us here know, we all attended Shad's 70th birthday party.
Can't believe he does not look 70. He doesn't act it either.
Just recently, and it was a whale of a bash. It was epic, yeah. Car stunts, crashing cars.
Let me tell you something. No one can throw a party like Rick and Lori Seaman.
Yeah, it was I was responsible for it.
It was all his fault.
Women in bikinis jumping
jumping out of cakes, crashing through walls.
Great music. Everyone jamming, everyone singing.
Oh. And you can see this video. And I want you to see it because this young lady does a little backup vocal thing or two, and
yeah, he's deflecting. You should see it because unless he edited it out, Rick sang a full song.
I did.
You didn't edit that out, did you?
Yes.
Oh, I still have it on my camera. Yeah.
But we had some great music, great band, the Hard Water Band, Dan Jimenez and the Hard Water Band. They got some heavy hitters in that band. Yeah, they got Carlos de la Paz, Danny Diaz, Jerry Salas, who is the lead singer for El Chicano. They had some great hits in the 70s. And me. No.
And Rick.
No, but if you want to see this birthday party, it's about, I think, a 16, 17-minute video. Go to our 11 Bravo channel, right? And that's on the icon on your screen. That would be on which side of our screen? We're right down here, 11 Bravo. And when you get on the show menu, you'll see some what looks like blank shows, no descriptions. Those are our secret shows. That's where we hide secret videos. Now, I won't tell you what some of these are. You'll have to go see for yourself. But there's one on there marked SM70. And soon to be another one, an upgrade called SM70B. That's the party. Check it out. You'll have some fun. So, Brian, are we ready to go to this interview in Seattle?
I think we are. Got it on deck.
Right.
Okay, well, let's click it on, and here we go.
All right.
This is the Ben Shapiro Show, AM 770 KTTH, KTTH.com. Well, an Inspector General report came out earlier this week that we really didn't have a lot of time to cover in depth. And it was an Inspector General report on the Veterans Administration and all of the scandals about fake waiting lists and whether deaths were caused by those fake waiting lists. Joining us on the line to discuss it is Shad Meshad. He's a U.S. Army Medical Service Officer in Vietnam from 1970. He began pioneering treatment techniques for what would later become known as post-traumatic stress disorder. He's the founder and co-author of the VA's Vet Center program, and he founded the National Veterans Foundation in 1985, an organization dedicated to serving veterans in crisis and bettering the lives of all U.S. veterans and their family members. Shad, thanks so much for joining the Ben Shapiro Show.
You're more than welcome.
Well, what was your takeaway from the Inspector General's report on the VA?
Well, first of all, to see the Inspector General, it's interesting that the VA inspects the VA. The VA reviews this tremendous problem that's been going on. I started my career at the VA, my first 15 years, from 71 to 86, and have watched these things go. But I think the whistleblowers really laid it out as it was, and the fact that they're saying less people died from the delays or whatever is all hearsay. The fact that anybody died waiting to get on, number one, the backlog, all the things that the AGs and other investigative reporters are looking at are just, to me, pretty criminal as far as the system goes. I think there's some great people inside the system, but there are decisions made at the top that are actually unethical for veterans, particularly. They're supposed to have the number one healthcare system when they come out of the military. And obviously, as Medal of Honor winner Jack Jacobs said on national TV several months ago, it just should be scrapped. The structure, there's no accountability. And here, the review by the Inspector General on its own system is, it needs to have an outside review. That's the problem. There's accountability.
Yeah, Shad, one of the criticisms of this particular report by the whistleblowers themselves, they said that the Inspector General basically said they were, quote, unable to conclusively assert that the absence of timely quality care caused the deaths of a number of veterans. And the whistleblower said that makes no sense because the patients died of disease or injury, not delays in care. So there's no way for them possibly to die of delays in care as a direct result. But nonetheless, they're saying that, are you telling me that all these 45 people, none of them could have benefited? Nobody could have been saved? It's kind of ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous. I mean, it's just common sense. I mean, it's just what we call yaya on the streets. It's just a rap to cover themselves. I mean, this is really horrific at what's happened. I mean, it's been going on since the start of these 2 10-year-plus wars, in the fact that the VA, the government, was not prepared for these 2 long wars. And it's just them manipulating the system because of no accountability to look good. Nobody's heads have rolled. You have always the top person, resigns or leaves, like Shinseki. They'll put another person on top of it. But unless the structure is changed into a delivery system such as Microsoft or Apple or a professional company, that the customer comes first, then, you really don't have anything. I mean, it's just smoke and mirrors. And
Shad,
the veteran really has no voice in it, except for the whistleblower.
When we look at the system, is there a reality in which veterans are given more capacity to leave the VA itself and move outside the system to private insurers, to private hospitals? Because some of this is just endemic to a public system, isn't it? I mean, the idea that we're ever going to have any sort of publicly run system that runs like a for-profit center seems a little bit far-fetched. People seem to be happy once they get into the system, but it also takes them years to get into the system, and then they're stuck on waiting lists.
Well, that should be an easy fix, don't you think? Don't you think if there was a problem getting into your iPhone or Apple or something, that the system wouldn't be fixed right away? I mean, come on. Once again, this is logic. We're talking about human beings. They have post-war injuries from the war, systems that are supposedly in place. You've got a mega billion-dollar healthcare system. Rest this right away, but no. It's once again, to me, it's smoke and mirrors, and it's just reason that the system should deliver immediately. It should be just like you going to a private PPO or whatever. When you call, you make an appointment, you're there, you get treatment. Why isn't it this so-called mega billion-dollar system not functioning that way?
Shad, why do you think the media has been so eager to shut down the VA scandal? Because it seemed like it was a huge scandal for about a week, and then President Obama flew to Afghanistan and stood in front of a bunch of troops around July 4th and fired Shinseki. And this all happened within about 48 hours. And then the media sort of let it go. And now this Inspector General report comes out, and the media's big takeaway from the report is not that the VA is constitutionally corrupt and problematic, but that somehow the VA is not responsible for all these veterans dying while they're waiting on fake lists. And so that's their takeaway message. Why is it that the media seems so eager to bury the scandal?
Well, I don't know how old you are, but if you've watched the evolution of media and reporting the last 40 years and the last 20 years, it's like the evolution of the computer and all this technology. It's all sensational press. It gets faster and faster. There's so many things we have exposed to the world. The VA is just an old story, the shootings on campus, students, kindergartens, whatever. There's so much saturation of sensationalism that today's news is old news. And I don't think, because a minority of those in this country, citizens, serve in the military, serve in war, it's just a small percentage.
Well, Shad Meshad is the founder of the National Veterans Foundation. He's doing wonderful work for veterans all across the country. And Shad, thanks so much for joining the Ben Shapiro Show and shedding some light on a report this week that just demonstrates once and for all that government departments should not be investigating themselves. Thanks for joining the show.
Well, he pretty much nailed it.
I would say he did.
He usually does.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah. Anyway, Brian, thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Gloria, thank you. Thank you, vets, for tuning in again. This is Rick for the Veterans Nation, and we'll see you again soon. Welcome home, everybody.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Welcome home. It's good to have you back where you belong. You fought hard for this land you love, and I thank you for all of us. We're proud to call you one of our own. Welcome home.